I used to chase every yellow leaf with fertilizer. It made things worse. Then I learned to slow down and follow a simple order: water, light, roots, nutrients, pests, aging. Yellow can come from all of those, and the symptoms often look the same. That's why so many of us misread the signal and treat the leaves instead of the cause. Today, I'll share that exact checklist. We'll use a moisture check 2 inches deep, match light to your plant's needs, and decide if it's time to repot or simply trim an old leaf. Gentle steps, real results. Let's start with moisture, the fastest win. First stop on our checklist is simple, quick, and hands-on. The 30-second moisture test, drowning or thirsty. If a single fingertip could save your plant, would you use it? Here's the secret. The 2-inch test beats guesswork because it tells us what the roots feel right now. We start at the soil because yellow leaves are often a water story, and research keeps pointing to overwatering as one of the most common causes. The surface can lie. 2 inches down tells the truth. My dear garden-loving friends, press your finger straight in to the second knuckle. If it feels cool and damp, we hold the watering can. If it feels dry and dusty, the plant needs a drink. No apps, no charts, just you and the soil. If you prefer a tool, a simple moisture meter set 2 inches down does the same job. Slow and gentle. Now lift the pot. This is our second clue. A light pot usually means dry soil. A heavy pot means water is still sitting there. I've learned to lift with one hand and test with the other. It takes 10 seconds, and it saves plants because it helps us confirm whether the yellowing fits the classic patterns of too much or too little water. Here's why this matters. Overwatering is the most common cause of yellow leaves indoors. In soggy soil, roots lose air. They suffocate. They start to break down, and they can't move water or nutrients up the stems. That's root rot. Waterlogged roots, starved of oxygen, turning soft and failing even while the pot is wet. We see yellow and think thirst, so we add more water and the cycle keeps going. We stop that today. Let's read the signals. Overwatered leaves feel limp and soft. They can look yellow and a bit mushy, and stems may turn brown and mushy near the base. The plant looks tired even though the soil is wet. Underwatered leaves can yellow too, but they feel dry and papery, sometimes wrinkled at the tips, and the whole plant loses vigor. Edges turn crisp. The yellowing often starts with the oldest leaves lower on the plant. Same color at a glance, but a different feel in your hand, and a different fix. Leaves are the dashboard lights. The soil is the engine. Fix the engine first. When the soil runs right, the leaves follow. If the soil is soggy, pause watering. Give the plant air and time. Check the bottom of the pot. Do you have a drainage hole? If not, that's job one. If yes, tip the pot at a slight angle over a sink or tub and let extra water escape. Slide a pencil or chopstick around the inner edge to open tiny air passages. If water pools in a sleeve or cache pot, empty it right away. Then wait until the top inch dries before the next drink. That top inch rule keeps roots breathing while still meeting the plant's needs. If the soil is dry, water slowly. Don't dump and run. Pour until you see water drain from the bottom. Let it rest for a minute, then give a small second pour to re-wet dry pockets. Set the pot back and let it drip out fully so it doesn't sit in a puddle. That full soak restores the core, not just the top crust. For stubborn wet soil, improve the mix. Add a scoop of perlite for air pockets. A little coarse sand or bark chips helps water move through while keeping some moisture where roots can sip. Function meets beauty in the most delightful way when the roots have both air and drink. Adjust for seasons. In brighter, warmer months, plants drink more and dry faster, often weekly. In winter, growth slows and soil stays wet longer, so stretch the gap to every 2 or even 3 weeks. The 2-inch test keeps pace, so we don't follow a rigid schedule that leads us astray. With water sorted and roots breathing, there's another quiet messenger that can turn leaves pale or patchy in a hurry. Let's read what your light is saying next. Light and location speak in shapes and colors we can read in seconds. Light and location, reading burn, shade stress, and simple moves. Now that moisture is steady, light gives the next loud signal. When plants don't get enough light, they can't make enough chlorophyll, the green pigment, so leaves fade from pale green to yellow and growth crawls. On the other side, excessive direct sun scorches and bleaches tissue. Both paths give yellow, but the trail marks are not the same, so we look for patterns. In low light, stems stretch and get leggy. They reach and they thin. New leaves stay small. The color shift is gradual, soft, pale green drifting toward yellow. The whole plant leans toward the window. That steady lean is our clue, and it's kind. Too much light tells a sharper story. Yellow arrives with bleached spots or crispy patches, mostly on the side facing the sun. You might see defined sunburn dots or bands, and color shifts fast after a bright day. Edges dry and crack. The surface feels brittle instead of dull. Location makes or breaks it. North-facing windows give gentle, indirect light. East-facing windows offer a friendly morning glow. South and west windows bring strong midday and afternoon beams that can scorch. Most houseplants prefer bright, indirect light rather than direct sun. A simple sheer curtain turns those beams into that sweet spot, and a small shift back from the glass keeps leaves safe. Use your hand as a meter. Hold it between the plant and the window at the usual time of day. A sharp, clear shadow means strong, direct light. A fuzzy or soft-edged shadow means indirect light. No app needed. For a plain English guide to intensity, think in 3 zones. Low light is just bright enough to read a newspaper comfortably. Medium light is brighter and steady near an east window. High light lives close to a south or southwest window and often needs a shear. We also rotate the pot a quarter turn each week so every side shares the light. That keeps shape even and limits one-sided lean. Seasonal shifts matter. In winter, the sun rides lower and reaches deeper into rooms. A plant that sat happy in July may burn in January. In summer, overhangs or trees can block those direct rays and cut the light, so a plant may fade where it once thrived. We don't guess. We check the light and nudge the placement. Let's make the easy moves. If you see sunburn marks, slide the plant back 2 to 4 feet, add a shear, or lift it onto a small stand so the leaves sit out of the direct beam. If the plant is gloomy and stretching, move it closer to a bright window. Most low-light growers will perk up with an east window or a small, full-spectrum grow light on a timer for a few gentle hours. That steady boost restores chlorophyll and keeps growth compact. Think of all this as tuning a lamp to the right dimmer setting. We're not fighting the sun, we're shaping it. One small move, curtain, distance, or rotation often stops new yellow within days and brings back steady green. With water and light set, if yellow still lingers, the next answers live just below the soil line. Here's the secret, my dear garden-loving friends. A calm order takes us there. So we close with a steady, simple path. Moisture first, then light, then roots, nutrients, pests, and finally natural aging. We stop guessing. We act with ease. Following this order prevents the common mistake of jumping to fertilizer when yellow appears. Overfeeding can add salt stress and make things worse. Try the 2-inch test today and tell us in the comments what your plant said. Hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you'll want to catch every tip we share here. A few yellow leaves can be natural aging, often older, lower leaves without any other distress. If water and light check out, tight, root-bound pots are a common cause. Repot into fresh soil and we'll open a pot and rescue a root-bound beauty next time.